We're going to start that show recording right now. And good day, good morning, good wherever you are. I hope you're having a great one. Right next to me is the one and only Gina Schreck. Hey, Gina, how's it going today?
I'm doing great. How are you? Oh, see, I looked the wrong way. You're sitting over here on my my right.
I'm sitting over there. Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, we can do that Brady Bunch thing.
Yeah, the Brady Bunch. Where's Alice? Always looking for Alice. But yeah, it's great. Great weather here. I feel like we live in Arizona or California because it's Colorado and it's 65 degrees. So
we're about 63 right now, and it's been raining for about 4 or 5 days, and today's just cloudy. So we're having really weird weather. People in back east are having 70 degrees in the middle of winter, and we're having 40s and 50s. Weird.
Yeah, true.
Weird.
Yeah,
hey, Gina,
here.
We've got a very interesting guest today.
Yeah, we're excited because, okay, whether you... Now, I do love Blake Shelton's team on The Voice.
Same here.
Big Voice fan. Love Blake Shelton. And country music, whether you are a country music fan or not, you're going to love our guest today because we have with us truly the queen of Tweetchats. She runs one of the largest, most popular tweet chats in the world, and that is Country Music Chat, CM Chat. And I had the pleasure of meeting Jessica. Her and I were on an innovation team. We went out to San Francisco and met her, and dynamic, fun. I knew right away, I was like, okay, I need to get to know Jessica. It's just super fun. So welcome, Jessica. Thank you for getting up early for us.
Hey, Jessica, how are you?
Good. It's not that early. You know, I get up at 5 a.m. or so, my time, which is probably 4 a.m. your time.
For Rick. See, you and I are on the same time zone. Yeah. You get up at 4 a.m.? Why?
No, I get up at my time is like 5 or 6 a.m. You know, I just do. I don't know. It sucks. It depends. If I went to bed at 11 o'clock or midnight, I'm up at like 5 or 6. My body only sleeps 5 or 6 hours. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
If you can handle it, that's good.
It doesn't matter when I go to bed. And then I've tested this theory. Or this occurrence.
So
if I don't like it, I don't like it a bit.
So yesterday I was watching that Blake Shelton Christmas special. Did you guys see that?
Yes.
What'd you think?
Me?
Yeah, either one. Jessica, what'd you think?
Oh, go ahead and go. You know what? I love Blake. I love his humor. I get him, and I'm hoping that the rest of the country will get him because I could see where I was watching some of the tweets, but I thought just his approach to it was different because everybody else is going to give you the same thing. He gave you Blake, and I loved it.
Okay, that's interesting. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a little different.
It reminded me of the old variety shows that we used to have.
Yeah, I miss those days. I like those old variety shows.
Right.
Good point, Gina. That is a good, because you know what? What was that laugh in? Oh my God, an In Loving Color. Get a job, Mom.
Or just during Christmas, we always had the variety shows, the Christmas shows. I thought it was a good, kind of wholesome, old-fashioned variety show. And some people think that's corny. Some people think it's kind of hokey. But I think it's fun family viewing.
Now remember, it wasn't that wholesome. It was, remember, the Not For Kids Christmas show.
Yeah, he said that. He actually was very much public about, this isn't for kids. This isn't like your typical show.
Right, because there were enough bleeps and stuff like that were being beeped out.
But you go, okay, was this, I guess it was intentional. You go, I guess they're trying to attract, but to me, it's like that style of show is too much.
And I didn't realize his mom was a singer.
You know what? I didn't either, and I'm actually going to look into that today because I was not aware that she sang and then that she also wrote like that. And
that's interesting.
I didn't know that.
She looked good, too.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. You see where he gets it from.
Now, Jessica, you've been involved in music promotion for years. How did you get into this business?
An accident. I started out as a nanny. Well, I mean, I was an actress, and I was a model, and I did all that stuff. And then I was Miss Tucson Raceway Park. And while I was doing that, I met the GM at a local radio station, and she needed a nanny, and I was in college. And so I took that nanny job like one summer, and then she's like, hey, you have an opening at the radio station for receptionist. And I thought, oh, cool. I can, figure out what I want to do. And while I was there, the guy that did our local Skyview traffic, like, good morning, watch for a little bit of Slow and Go. So I was, doing morning show stuff, and he said, or I was the receptionist. He heard me talk. He said, have you ever thought about doing radio? And I said, yes.
I thought about it every day.
Yeah, and then it was like the rest was history. It was like crazy because they just kind of like talk about, the picture paints itself. And then I went into sales, and then I discovered all this stuff a few years ago at like social media while I was in sales, and I got into non-traditional revenue management, which is basically the radio side of making money with all this stuff. Because like I think everybody's out there going, you can't make money with social media. Yes, you can. You can make a lot of money, and if you do it right. And it's not about selling or telling. It's about sharing and caring and creating relationships, and you can make a ton of money.
Which you are so good at that. I watch your tweets, and I watch how you really do connect. You reply to people, and I think people get that. There's that myth of once you have too many followers, which is kind of a weird thing that people think this. They think if you have a lot of followers, there's no way you can reply to everyone. Not all of them tweet at the same time. Have you found that to be a challenge, just building this community?
I painstakingly, sometimes when we were talking about my sleeping habits, I will stay up throughout the day. I try to do things where I like reach out, and I will stay up till like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'll answer like 200 tweets. I try to do it at night, so I'm not like blowing up the stream so much, but I try to, anytime anybody asks me a question or makes a comment or has anything to say, or they're having a bad day, or they're like, will you listen to my kids' music? Will you do this? I do. I mean, that's just the kind of person I am. I don't care how big or whatever happens in my life. I hope I always keep that green feeling of, staying close to the people who are there with me. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what makes you special, too, and that's what people appreciate, because I remember I met you on Twitter. In fact, I told Gina, I said, hey, do you know Jessica Northey? She goes, I do. I go, isn't there anybody she doesn't know? Because I thought I found, hey, I think I found a really good person for the show. And I just watched your tweets and watched how you responded to people, and I go, hey, she's cool. And I was just one more person out there, and you actually gave me a very personal response once. I go, hey, that's pretty good. She makes time for people. And I saw many followers you had. I go, wow, that's how you even notice some of the people is amazing. So, and I forgot, you have, like 250,000 followers or more?
Like 500.
500,000
followers. So that's a lot of followers.
I follow 125,000 people, or 150,000. And if you go look and see how many tweets I have probably around 150,000 tweets. And I'm very proud of that. Because, I mean, if someone responds to me and takes the time, like, okay, it's one thing to follow somebody, but it's another thing to, like, follow them, engage them. And I think if someone takes the time to, like, talk to me, I follow everyone who talks to me.
That's great. So you actually have no fingerprints anymore.
Well, you know what?
From all the typing.
I think I have carpal tunnel or whatever.
Carpal tunnel.
I got that carpal tunnel now.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I do. Like, and I'm a hypochondriac, so I probably have everything.
And my thumb is sore. I said, I wonder if that is the whole texting thumb issue that we have. But let me go back to, so you started from the sales side, then you started looking at social media and Twitter, and really, I think, is Twitter your kind of tool of choice?
No, it is where I happen to hang my hat, and I've gotten very, whatever that word is, I've become very efficient and proficient, whatever. But I actually hang my hat at Google Plus now.
Do you really?
Oh, I love this. It's my favorite thing ever made. Like, and if you go over there, you can see it. What I find interesting about it is, so like, how many years into Twitter are they, and how many years into Facebook? Google Plus, I could post something like a few minutes ago. I had posted something, and it already had like 50 comments, and it had like 50 reshares, and like 100 or 200 likes, and I'll get like 1,000, 2,000 over there, and it's like, it's so, if you're niche, whatever that word is, and you talk about the topics that are important to you, and you relate to the things, and you are, I guess, interesting.
Right.
It's easier over there, I believe, to like communicate like that, and to find just your, I mean, I found my voice over there, and prior to Twitter and all of the chats and everything I've been doing, when you guys know this with this show, when I started doing CM Chat on Google Plus, all of a sudden, you guys, this has been amazing. This past month, I don't know if you saw my announcement yesterday, but I'm covering the ACAs for Cox Media, or Cox Cable, and then I did a thing for CBS last Friday, all the CBS owned and operated TV stations and radio stations. I ended up getting a phone call from Nickelodeon because they were doing a star search for the next Taylor Swift type thing. This Country Weekly is doing a story on me, and there's some other stuff, I can't remember what it was. But all of this stuff's happened because of video. And tweeting led to that, but I'm telling you, it supersized it.
So on Google Plus, are you doing the Hangouts? Are you using the Hangouts and using that as your chat format?
I am. Okay, so what I've done is, because a lot of the country music artists are still just finding Twitter. So on Monday nights, it's a Twitter chat. But if I have somebody who's got that extra something where they can do a Twitter chat and be on video at the same time, which, like, while I'm talking to you guys, if you see me look down, I'm trying to tweet and talk to people that are watching us, or talking to people. It's hard to do that. So the Monday night chat is kind of dedicated to Twitter. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays, depending on when the celebrity is available, I'm doing a Google Plus hangout. Or I call it a twang out, because I embed the Twitter feed underneath the video hangout, so because it's a YouTube video, so I embed it on my website, and then in the iframe thing, I put the chat underneath it, so it's a Twitter hangout, and I'm country. So.
Oh, that's pretty cool. You are the very first person we've had on who really likes Google Plus. I think I was the only one before that. So that's interesting. Most people really haven't found what Google Plus is really good for. So this is actually good news. And it's because a lot of people said Google Plus is really interesting, but there's not a lot of interaction.
And I've read that where they said it was a ghost town. And initially my first thought was, oh no, I got over there and I didn't get it. And if you go over there and you have that same feeling of Twitter, as I'm just going to put out all my crap and hope I'm going to go fishing and throw my line into the whatever water and think like I want people to come to me, and you're not going to go and pursue other people. Like, the key to social media, period, end of story, is be interesting, or, find people that you think are interesting and follow them.
Be interested in them.
In them, and then be interesting. And I think, like, people have a misconception of what is interesting, and I believe, like, if you hold a mirror up, like Gina right now, if you were to describe yourself to me and Rick, what you would say you are versus what Rick and me, with our perceptions looking at you, what we think is interesting about you. I believe that most brands, and even a lot of the artists I work with, and artists that are out there, they don't understand, okay, so what's interesting about me that's going to be interesting to my fan base.
Right.
So they're out there just blah, 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 blah. So now if you know that, like, there's my geek things that I love, like, I like Star Wars stuff. I like funny, like, memes and stuff, and then I post, like, videos, or I just I'll write stuff, like, things just come into my head, and I, like, put it out and stick it on. And I'm like, I can't believe I read that. It's something like, hey, I like to randomly text people, what do I do with the body? Like, I'll just say stuff because I think it's funny, and it's like it's in my head, and I'm like, oh, like, I guess in some ways like a comedian, but I'm not a comedian. I don't think so.
You're going to be a comedian in your next career.
For sure.
That is so true, and we always talk about that with Google Plus. Is you have to be willing to first go invest time there, and you have to invest in other people, and you have to, like you said, find people and become interested in them to build that community.
Amen, sister.
Which is true on any social site.
It is truly magnificent.
Well, I'm fascinating that you've built that big following, though, that on Google Plus, that you're finding that to be kind of the platform to be on versus Twitter. So that's to me, that's really interesting. And I love the Google Hangout platform. I think that's so cool to add the video to the chat. So that's really cool.
Speaking of chat, any comments in the chat room?
Oh, where do I go to see that?
If you're logged in, and I'll throw them. Oh, people are asking, what is your Twitter ID? It's at Jessica Northey.
In fact, I'll bring up her lower third right now so you can see her name again. Jessica Northey. Northey.
Yes, sir.
On Google Plus, is it the same thing?
I think it's Google. I have one of those.
Oh, yeah, it's the weird
It's
one.
like, it's plus.google.com/Jessica Northey. But if you go search for me, my account should pop up because
so just searching for your name.
Yeah, if you go onto Google Plus and you just write Jessica Northey, because I think I have my account is verified over there, so it puts me at the top. But no, there's not very many Jessica Northeys, and there is one, and it's funny because she kind of does what I do, sorta. And she tells me all the time, she's like, oh my God, she's like, I don't even know what your life is like, but she's like, people contact me all the time, and they're like, hi Jessica, will you look at this, will you do that? And my kids made this video, will you check it out? And I'm like, welcome to my life. I mean, like 100.
So you get a lot of people that want you to listen to their videos or listen to their kids sing to try and help promote them.
Correct.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
And I try to do what I can. Like, so I have clients that for a living. I do this, like, what I think people forget is I do this for a living. Like, I have clients that I consult with them, and their stuff that they're, working with, we try to promote that, and we do it in an organic way that's building a community, as far as helping them identify their audience and their evangelists and their super fans. So that's kind of like that part of the deal. And so when all these other people are coming through, sometimes they get demanding. Do this for me, tweet that, and they forget, I don't know what they think I'm doing, if they just think I'm like some random person.
Do it for free,
yeah, I'm sitting in a basement and all I'm going to do is tweet your stuff. But it's like the, reality check is that, I do this for a living. I'm a consultant. I'm trying to step away from that and do more hosting gigs and more like, I don't know. I want to up the ante. I'm at that point in my life.
MC at shows and things.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to just go for it. Like, I'm thinking this thing where I'm going to do the red carpet stuff with Cox and Fox and the Google Hangout. And then the following Wednesday, oh my God, you guys have to hear this. So, 20, you're going to love it because you guys will get this. I put together a panel of country music industry experts, and it's called 2012 Untwangled, the country music year in review. I have Chuck Dolphin from Billboard, Lisa Lee, the senior vice president of the Academy of Country Music Awards. I've got Jules Wortman, one of the biggest publicists in Nashville. Dan Van works for Albright & Melly, the biggest country music consulting firm in the world. Baron Lane from Twang Nation, and then Tammy Lagusa from Country Weekly, which is like Our People magazine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, these are people that a year ago, I don't even know if they'd take my phone call.
And they're going to be, you're going to do this whole show with them on it.
Yeah, we're going to do kind of like what you guys do, but it's going to be in a Google Hangout.
That's awesome.
We're going to just talk about 2012, what happened in the country music year, and we're going to, hits, misses, things like, whatever came up, and award shows. Like, we had a big thing happen this year with the Taylor Swift and That's Not Country, and Kelly Clarkson getting a nominee for country music or female vocalist of the year. Everyone is sitting around going, wait, what's going on with country? We're in a change of the...
Well, isn't that kind of the crossover country?
I don't know that we call it crossover.
Because it's not quite country, but it's not quite rock, maybe.
Is it Donnie and Marie?
A long time ago, remember when rock was classic rock and album-oriented
Right.
rock? Leo Abrams would throw an album on and they'd just play it on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the rock and roll, then you had new rock, then you had soft rock, then you had progressive rock, aggressive rock, adult active rock. I think that's going to happen to country. And I said that I was interviewed by the Washington Times like 6-7 months ago, and I said, this is my prediction, is that you're going to start to see radio stations, or even on the internet, you're going to see Americana emerge. More flavors of country, I believe.
Right. No, I agree. I think there's there's so much talent out there, and there's plenty of slots. So I think
and there's a lot of different styles. That's what's interesting about country. You hear one, all of a sudden it's a ballad, then all of a sudden you kind of hillbilly rock, then you kind of get into, it's just a lot of different kind of country.
Totally. Yeah. I call it the flavors of country. Mm-hmm. I think we have different flavors, and people laugh about that because I'm like, I'm
31.
Yeah, and I have friends, like literally, because, I hang my hat in the social media world, and I have been in the tech community, and I've been in country forever. It was my genre of choice. And one of my friends will be like, I hate that country. I hate that music. And I'm like, hold on, hang on. I'll be like, I have a band for you. And I just got, this is so cute. And I can talk, because I'm speaking at Blog World, or turned on one of the guys that's the CEO over at Blog World. He's like, I like Metallica, and I like this, and I like that. And I'm like, here, I have a country music band for you. And I think I'm starting to do that to everybody else. Like, and I ask him, what kind of music do you like? And I'm like, oh, I have a band for you. And I'm like, oh, try this out. And I'm really getting into Americana. Like,
yeah, that's fun. Actually, it's interesting because Blake Shelton's doing quite a bit on The Voice for country music, because a lot of people are hearing different flavors of country coming from his team, from him, and from some of the bands that they've had, or even singers that they've had on. And it really gives people a different taste, a different feel, and country's fun. It can, everybody goes, oh, country's so depressing. It's like, no, it is, and it can be fun too.
And it's interesting because Larry in the chat room just said a lot of new bands like Old Crow Medicine Show and Hayes Carl, they're bringing people who may not have been exposed to country, suddenly bringing, they're seeing that, wow, I really like this music.
Yeah, and I just interviewed, oh my gosh, I'm in love with this band. They're called the Cadillac Black, and like they've been on tour with Dierks Bentley, ZZ Top, Leonard Skinner, and Eric Church, and I love them. I had them on a video chat the other day, and I love Eli Young Band. He said, "What does Cadillac Black sound like?" They sound like Cadillac Black, and they are country. And this is a good thing where, this is an argument that I keep hearing is like, what makes country country? Is it the sound, or is it the artist? And I think you can only answer that from yourself, because like I remember growing up, I remember like, so Patsy Cline, they said Patsy is pop, but if you think about country and we go back to our country classic artists, I look at Patsy or Jimmy Rogers, the king of or the father of country. He was jazz, and he played with like Louis Armstrong, and he had that sound. So what is country music? What is it? And I believe that the music of the country. Hello.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I remember in the last season of The Voice, Blake Shelton, I think, did "I'm a Soul Man" with one of the, and he was really good. He was really getting into the soul stuff, and I go, hey, he can actually do that. So it doesn't really matter. A country singer can do a lot of different things.
Correct, and I think folk music, like folk and Americana, and that bluegrass and that sound that's like what I love about country music, and I think this is why it's so appealing to so many people, which if you look at pop or some of the others, is it really is a ditty. It's me telling you a story, or it's the person telling you a story, and it's not clouded by too much instrument and processing, and there's not a lot of, now they are, but there's not a lot of that, like when you hear Call Me Maybe, that song, right. There's a whole bunch of processing and producing. Right. It's overly produced, whereas country is still not overly produced. It's about the sound of the instrument, not the sound of what technology can do, and it's the voice still an instrument. And I think in some of the other genres that that's become...
It's artificial.
Yeah, artificial.
What is it? I forgot his name. Something Payne. I hate that style. It's like it's just a completely digitized voice. I don't know. I don't find that interesting.
I can't tell.
And that's true. Larry just made another comment. That's so true. Tools like Spotify and Pandora, those are great tools to introduce us to new types of music, because we might hear one song that we like, and then it kind of brings in other artists. So
yeah, I love Pandora. I think Pandora's fun.
T-Pain, that's who you're thinking
T-Pain, yes. Yeah, what a pain.
So I'm buying you that CD.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it.
So Jessica, my question is, when you decide, how long has CM Chat been going? 2 years?
Oh my God. It is May of 2000 and wait, so I had all of 2011. So it's almost a year, like 20 months old. So this next May will be 2 years.
2 years. Okay. So when you decided to start this chat, did you, looking back 2 years ago, did you, what are some of the things that you've learned that you wish you would have known when you first started?
Oh my God. Paper in a bed. I would have probably in the beginning, like, I love Matt. I'm good friends with Matt Collier, and basically CM Chat is thank you, Mac. Mac and I were on the phone till like, I don't know, all hours of the night one evening, and we were talking about blog chat and making money in social media and things that, you know, you could do. And I said, do you think anybody's ever thought of doing a chat that wasn't social media, like a country music chat, and bringing the community together? I'm so sorry, I've had this cough for days now. And Mac was like, no, but that's a great idea. Because, see, an entertainment chat will organically spring up around a TV show or an event, or when something like a concert's on, or an entertainment chat, a new movie comes out. But to, like, not necessarily force it, but to regulate it and to begin it is normally, you know, a social media technique, not an entertainment technique. Right. So when I started it, I was like, God, I don't know how this is going to work, because how can I keep bringing new people that are interested in the country on it? And so in the beginning, I did things like I would have 2 or 3 guests on and try to do 10 questions, and it was like crazy. And I realized that over the time that just one guest, and really, I only ask the guest now like 9 questions or 10 questions, because honestly, for some of these people, this may be the only time that they ever really get to chat with Charlie Daniels or right. Like I had the Bellamy Brothers on last night. Squeak.
And you're right, like fans can actually ask a question and get a reply.
Exactly, and that's what's like, it's beautiful. So what if you'll notice is it's not about me and the celebrity.
Right.
It's just about, hey, I have this friendship with this publicist or this label, or I know this person, and they're like, hey, would you like to have the Bellamy Brothers on? They just, you know, put out a new gospel record. Would you, you know, like to talk to them? And I'm like, would I? Hello, I would talk to them even if they didn't have a new record. And a lot of artists think they have to have something to talk about to come on all the time, because I would get a lot bigger. I'm working on a lot of stuff for everybody for 2013, but a lot of times they're like, oh, well, we don't have an album coming out until next February, so let's circle back and do that. And I'm trying to let them know, you know, it's not necessarily that you have to come and sell these guys something. They just want to talk to you.
Right. Yeah. And just chat with people. And the fans love that.
And
now, so looking back, so did you anticipate how much work it would be? Because I'm always amazed. Like, tweet chats are a lot of work to schedule and to run consistently.
You know, I don't know what it's like to not do it now. It's part of my social media. Like, I just know Mondays. Usually now I'm wired in. Like, I'll only do like 9 or 10 questions. Usually there's a couple calls to the publicist. A lot of times what you guys don't see out there, and which is why I really love the video part, I'm on the phone with the artist while we're doing the Twitter thing. Like, I'm a lot of times on the phone with them, coaching them through it and helping them, because as much as it seems like second nature to us, just remember to put a hashtag in there. Like, should I say this? Do I put the A1 in front of it? Do I put your name in it? Oh, hey, is that person right there? How do I answer that? You know, it's not, we're in the tech world, so we think this is how our stuff is.
That's right.
And so it is a lot of work. Well, it's a labor of love now at this point.
I've done several tweet chats, and I do love the fact when you can be on the phone, if you can't be in the same room, to be on the phone with the other person that you're, you know, kind of co-facilitating with, because then you kind of feel like you are having this conversation. It just seems more fun. You're able to chat about, you know, okay, look at this comment, or, you know, you can just have more fun with the audience, I think. And so that's a really smart way as adding that piece, whether it's video, which now with Google Plus, that's a great tool, or at least being on the phone with them. Do you find that, I mean, the pace of CM Chat is crazy. So, you know, trying to keep up with comments and things, what tool do you use that really helps you manage the tweet chat?
You know, it's so funny, because every time I'm like, I don't do ever one way, and it's just funny. I use TweetDeck, but sometimes TweetDeck can't keep up with my tweets.
Right.
So then I switch over to my regular Twitter.com account, and then I have on my website for the Twitter chat. There's the Twitter only, and then the Twang Out one.
Right.
I have an iframe underneath of it, and I believe it's from Tweetchat. Ooh, but you know what you got to look at, Gina, and you got to talk to Robert Moore. You need to have him on here. Robert Moore has Seesaw, and it is this very cool for a chat. If so, all the tweets are basically they tell a story. So like when somebody tweets a picture, it's up on it. So they're looking at every tweet that's coming through, and it rains down.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that could be. I think Robert Moore and Seesaw. I think they're inventing our next chat strategy tool, because ours, like, it's like tweet, you know, and it's like it's so hard to like stay up with it, and that's why switching to video, it seems to me like a really natural
Right.
parlay to video.
Yeah, because the hardest thing with when you have so many users or so many followers, and if they're all starting to chat in or chime in, it's really hard to keep up with everybody.
Right. Well, that's why, you know, sometimes I'll use I'll go to tweetchat.com and I'll try to be in there, but then it gets clogged and it's, you know, pause. And then I tried the other one, I think it's Tweet Grid or one of those, and that just seems super confusing. So I thought there's got to be some great tools out there, but you're right. Like Hootsuite, I'll create a column. It just doesn't refresh fast enough, so it doesn't keep up. And if you're facilitating, you have to be able to be, you know, on top of the questions and throwing those out and running it. So
one thing you can do is when the tweet comes through, if you're like, oh, that's a great question, I want to come back to that, favorite it. Works too. That's what I do, is I'll favorite the question, and then I'll go back and I'll be like, okay, let's answer through the favorites.
Right. Oh, that's a great way. So throughout the chat, that surprises me that you would go to actually twitter.com though. That seems so hard. But
when it gets fast, I just go and I look at my so you'll laugh. Okay, so during a typical chat, it's like, I've got twitter.com up, and I'm looking at my tweets. I've got my guest tweets. I've got my @ mentions, right? And then, so I've got those three things so that I can go, okay, here's my @ and then I've got, seriously, the TweetDeck, whatever, open. And so I'm trying to just keep up with everything. It's crazy. I don't know how I do it. I'd be
That's why you don't sleep at night.
Yeah.
It's like for an hour or 2 hours. It just it happens, and luckily girls have that metabolism thing makes sense. Us Toby D's, there's this thing that is in our brain that women have that men don't have. Sorry, Rick, I feel bad for you.
It's the same thing that allows us to enjoy Pinterest.
You know what? That's funny about Pinterest. I'm okay. I'm getting used to what is that? Instagram,
right?
Instagram, and I'm Pinterest is okay, but for me, like, I've found that, well, originally Instagram, like, for artists and musicians, I think pictures are great and people want to see the pictures, but it doesn't like lead back to the music, and it's like, you know, I don't know. You're putting your pictures up on Facebook. I originate pictures and stuff at Facebook or at Google+, and then I tweet them to Twitter. Because why do I want to, like, build my house on somebody else's foundation? So I try to keep as much stuff. I'm probably doing it wrong. I should probably originate everything on my website. Oh, and let me just say this for anyone who's watching this. Great with chat, Google, whatever. Your email list is the end-all, be-all. Because in the past, I've been doing all this stuff for a while now, and I started out doing it with radio stations. So in a span of 10 years that I've been doing social media, MySpace, end all, be all. Oh my God, we got to be on MySpace. We built up, like, I think I had 50,000 followers, which was like huge for
back in MySpace, yeah.
And then MySpace, it was like, okay, I had a roommate who just graduated from Notre Dame Law School, and she's like, you got to be on the Facebook. And it was when it just opened up to everybody, and so I got on the Facebook, and then the Facebook back then. And then I was like, I really like Twitter, because I used to love texting. Now I hate it. But yeah. I don't know. I like tweeting. I hate texting. But so then and then now we're on Google+. and I like Google Plus because it's like my email integration, and that's why I feel like I don't know how to explain it, but the next thing's being built right now too. And I heard the new MySpace is coming, and then I heard
have you applied to get the new MySpace?
I did, because I got to figure out how to use it so that I can be a consultant to my clients, whether I like stuff or not. I am on everything, and I beta everything, and I test it. I figure out what to do wrong. I do everything as wrong as I can. I do everything as right as I can, so that I have a story to sell to a client and tell them, here's an idea for you to use this. Why don't we try this out? And I feel that, that's my duty. But I believe we should all, be building an email list in a community somewhere that we can control.
And I think that's so true. All these platforms, they can come and go. The key is, do we learn how to engage? Do we learn how to build relationships in these virtual spaces? And you can take that anywhere. You can take that to any platform.
Right, exactly. And I don't say get their email address and then spam them. Don't hear that in this conversation. I say you email them quarterly, every few months, just, hey guys, here's what's going on with me. But there's that. So if you've built a million, one of my friends, this sucks for her, she had 2 million MySpace fans, and once we went over for her social media optimization, when we went over to Twitter, Facebook, we only, probably most we have right now on Facebook, I think she's got 45,000 fans, and on Twitter she's at about 100,000. But we couldn't take that momentum that she had gained on MySpace and bring it over. And what we were kicking ourselves in the booty, going, bang, when MySpace was hot, when she had 2 million, they would have signed up for anything she wanted, and doing contests, giving them stuff they can't get, doing phone calls with them. I mean that's, I guess I live in the entertainment industry, so it might be different for a business. A business is hey, we're going to call you because we sell coffee machines, and we're going to call and have a conversation and have coffee with you. They probably wanted, a gift certificate from you, or
discount, something.
Yeah. So, but taking you're entertaining, you're being interesting to somebody with your product. And so who is that, and how can you, double click on that?
Well, and it's interesting because even as you said that, it's ideas spark going, why couldn't a business, let's say a hotel, why couldn't they have a chef do you would have to contact all your lists and say, we're going to have a chef talk about holiday party planning, because they've got the expert right there in the hotel. Or maybe they have someone talk about how to create a beautiful table spread for your holiday parties. But I think the key is looking at, who is my audience? How do they want to be contacted, and why would they want to be contacted? Not why do I want to contact them, but why would they want to be contacted? I think in social media, again, we've just turned the tables on the consumer role, and we've said, we need to build relationships with people, we need to listen to what they want, and we need to say, how can we deliver what they want, not the other way around. And I think that's still where businesses are having a hard time, whereas in your industry, it's probably, that's more natural because it is more about the fans.
Exactly. And I think companies don't necessarily have fans and fanatics or whatever, but I don't know. I bet you there's a really lot, because I happen to live in the entertainment world, but I was a rep on the streets, selling air, basically. So I do understand, marketing, and I was the bars and cars rep. I did really good. Bars, cars, casinos, and beverages and stuff, and that was really where I made all my cash or money, was coming up with ideas for them. But still, I would always bring in the entertainment aspect of that. So, I think just be out of the box. The key components, Valerie Geller says this: tell the truth, make it matter, and never be boring.
Love that.
And with that note, if you want to see a little bit more about Jessica, go to her website, which is www.fingercandymedia.com. I love that name. That's a good name. Fingercandymedia.com. We've been showing the website about 10 times throughout the show, so people can find your web address and go, hopefully not stalk you.
And then, again, to find out about when the Google Hangouts are, basically people just need to follow you.
Yeah, I'm still working on the consistency of when I can get guests because not everybody can do it. But Wednesday's usually always doing something, and I'm always posting about it on. It's if you go to fingercandymedia.com and you click on the Twang Out button, it'll give you whatever's going on.
That's cool.
At least you go back to the website. See, there's the hub right there, which I love. Yeah, this has been great. It's so fun getting to just chat with you about all that you're doing. It's just, to me, it's incredible and very fun. Again, there's a lot of things that we can take from any industry, what's working, and then how do we make that work in a different industry? And you take the concepts, and I think there's some brilliant concepts that you have going there. So thank you for sharing with us this morning. Fabulous.
I had fun.
Great.
I did too.
We appreciate having you on, and hopefully you'll be on again.
I didn't even get to share. Rick sent me 2 Furbies. Okay, Rick, they make noise in the night.
They do. You have to put them to sleep.
I don't know.
There's a command. You say, go to sleep.
Oh, see, I don't know that, but he was kind of scaring me. But if anybody's looking for holiday gifts for their kids, it's interesting. I downloaded the app. It actually has a translation app on your iPad or iPhone. And I don't know. I just keep saying don't feed them after midnight, but I think that's a different movie. They turn into gremlins. That actually is pretty funny, but could be scary at night when you go to bed and it's still talking downstairs and in some weird language. So I had to share that. That came in the mail yesterday from Rick. I think he's implanted some chip into it, though, that is watching me or walking around.
It's recording everything you do.
I do. I'm kind of nervous about that.
Yeah, we don't really know what those Furbies can do.
I'm waiting to find out, but maybe it can do work for me. Maybe
but the reason you need 2 is they talk to each other. They dance together. They do all sorts of stuff. They're fun.
See, he's talking right now. He's singing me a song. But happy holidays, everyone. Next week we have Terry Brock on, Mr. Gadget Man, on the show, and he is all about gadgets. He knows, every gadget there is out there. So I love that around the holidays we can talk about. Okay.
Well, Jessica, again, a pleasure having you on. And we'll see everyone next week on SchreckTeck. Have a good one, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
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 It talks.
I love him. Oh my god, I want one of those. That's what I want for Christmas.